Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So I ended up getting something pretty sweet for this rig. Ended up picking up a winch. So it's a Warren M12000, should be plenty for this rig. I mean, fully loaded with the back all done up as like 6,200 pounds, but most of the time I'm not fully loaded. So let me show you where I kind of want to mount it. We'll see. I'm going to take out the front bumper and kind of see what steel I need to get, or if I can use this old bracket and mount it up behind the stock bumper until I finish welding up a bumper for the front. Let me show you what I got going. Alright, so ended up picking up this Warren M12000 pound winch, and this thing's a beast. And it's pretty burly. And see if I can't use this old winch plate. Alright, so when I put this up here, I'm gonna have to cut this off right here and then cut off the other side. So that way I'm flush with the frame right there. Alright, so this is where my winch plate is going to have to mount. I'm going to have to bring it outside of the frame just a little bit, and I will have to trim this plastic piece back about an inch, and that'll give me just enough room for these lines right here. So what I'm going to do is cut that angle iron from right here, let's see if I can get in there, to right here. And that will be 9 inches, so I'm going to do 9 inches on both sides. And then I'm going to drill a hole through the angle iron and use this pre-existing bolt. So that way, when I do end up bolting it up, it'll still transfer a lot of that weight out. And I know these tow hooks are rated to pull out the truck, so that's what I'm going to bolt that angle iron to. Alright, so that's about where that winch is going to be sitting. And what I'm going to do is put some paint on the end of these bolts, run it in. It'll give me a good estimate of where to drill that hole. Do that on both sides. And then I'll run that bolt through, tighten it all up, and then I can put this winch plate on. So this is the bottom part. I'm actually going to have to cut right along this line right here, cut all that off on both sides, so that way it'll fit in between these rails I'm building. Alright, so now you can see I've got that little cross member in right there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld this plate and this winch mount together all the way along the sides and up. Do the same thing on this side, and then it'll have a really good cradle for the winch. And then once I'm done tacking it up on here, then I'll unbolt it, take this whole plate off, and then finish welding it together. Alright, not the greatest welds, but they'll hold. It all welded up there. Alright, so now that we got that winch plate all bolted in and everything, looks like when it warped from welding it, it warped out just a little bit, so that's fine. Not too noticeable. But now what I'm going to do is, since the top mounts are still there for the bumper, I did cut out the lower ones because they were sitting right in right here. So now what I'm going to do is, where there's these slits, I'm going to actually cut some slats into this bottom piece. I'll have to cut a slat going up, then drop it in there, bolt it up. Alright, so with that winch plate in there, I did have to cut the bumper. And then what I'll end up doing is cutting the top off of this completely. But what I want to do is get this lined up. I'm going to get it bolted in, and then I'll cut the rest. That's what it's going to look like. Not too bad. I might do that Warren winch symbol in the center, just do it red. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad. And I thought it was going to stick out a lot more, but that's not bad at all. I'm happy with it. I mean, most would say don't weld it, but I did. If I have to remove it, it's a lot of grinding. But when it comes down to it, once I do build the bumper, like full on, I'm just gonna work off of this winch plate. And then I will make it to where I can undo the bolts and take off a side of the bumper if it gets messed up, rebuild a new one. But that's it for right now. And it is welded in, and I also have this bolt going through it, so, and it's pretty strong. Well, that's gonna be it for tonight. Catch you guys in the morning. All right, it's morning time. Ended up cutting the top off. Just got it bolted in with one bolt. I'm gonna have to figure out how to put that up. Probably make a bracket. But in the meantime, I'm gonna get these wires hung. So I got my positive and negative, and I'm just gonna run that negative down to right here. So I got it cleaned up on the back side. And a positive, I'm gonna run up through there. And then I'm actually gonna take this connection off and hook it up right here, since it leads from the alternator down to this little block and then into the battery. So I'm gonna run those real quick, and then I'll get back to you when I put the winch in. Alright guys, so she is done. The winch is in. Yeah, I cut a little too much off that side, but that's alright. It's just temporary. But everything works. I had to cut a little bit right there. I'll paint that black. And then I do have to cut this a little bit, because when I go to release it, it hits. So I can still maneuver it, just gotta force it up.
This has a dent.
But let me show you how this thing works.
Dad, this has a dent in it.
Yes, it does. Should we get the controller?
What a toy.
All right, no, keep steady tension on it. There you go. Keep pulling. All right, keep pulling on it. Keep pulling. Okay, pull again. All right, let's hook this up. All right, now we're gonna tighten it just a little bit.
Dad,
There we
after
go.
this, can we go for the weed?
All right, so as you can see, it works good. Pretty secure.
Got build on.
Now I can't wait to use it.
No,
Or
you're
not use it.
You're not using
Better
it.
to have it
You're not using
and
it
not need
today.
it than need it and not have it. If you guys enjoyed this, and maybe we'll see it in action sometime when we go wheeling again. All right, thank you guys. Appreciate it.